I dream the dream of Vikings offensive lines gone by. Yes. So today we're talking about the Vikings offensive line, which has been a sore point of talkers. Sure, that's not English. Anyways, it's something that the Vikings have been looking to improve ever since Matt Khalil started to show his true colors shining through. Yeah, 2014, bad. 2015, bad. 2016, bad. 2017, okay, because of Case Keenum. 2018, bad. 2019, bad. Right? So 2020, how can this Vikings offensive line be shaping up so that we can actually get a little something done? Because as we know, got to run the ball as well as Kirk Cousins needs protection. So looking at the Vikings' current offensive line, Garrett Bradbury, legit, number 18 overall pick last year. Going to be a tentpole for this Viking offensive line. Going to be the man in the middle. Going to be El Capitan in the future. I'm really excited about him. Also, Brian O'Neill. Pleasant surprise, number 62 overall pick in 2018. Really shaping up to be one of the better right tackles in the NFL. Perfect zone scheme fit, as well as got a little nasty to him. I like it. Yeah, and he's perfect for what the Vikings are looking to do here. Josh Klein, free agent last year, 3 years, $15.5 million. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Really surprising, where he wasn't a perfect scheme fit, but at a certain point, like we talked about, talent over scheme, it just works itself out. It's not like he's a liability out there. Now that leaves the left side of the offensive line. So now I've been pretty vocal about how the Vikings can save $8+ million in cap space by cutting Riley Reef, and also I think that the Vikings could do better out there. But also, I'm a realist. And looking where the Vikings are sitting in the draft, looking at the Vikings' current cap situation, and also in terms of which left tackles are actually going to make it for agency, yeah. So even though this is my dream, and this is perhaps a wet dream, Riley Reef will still be involved. So here we go. All right, so production value. Here's my current dream Vikings offensive line for 2020. So it's left to right. 4 out of 5 spots are the same. Reef, Bradbury, Klein, and Brian O'Neill. Now, looky. Here comes Hookie. Free agent guard Joe Thuney coming in. And Thuney's going to command some pretty decent coins. So even though you're keeping Riley Reef, perhaps approach him with a restructure, as well as some of the larger veteran contracts on the defense, notably Xavier Rhodes, potentially Linval Joseph could be off the books. So the Vikings could be in a spot where they could and should throw $10+ million at Joe Thuney. I actually think it may take even more than that. But as well as Joe Thuney, I'll be fully in on the Brandon Scherff bandwagon as well, as long as he doesn't get franchised by Washington. And yes, Brandon Scherff, I think he does have a higher ceiling than Joe Thuney, but also you've had to put up with injuries for the past 2 years, so that's some big question marks there. But either way, I think just bringing in a stud left guard to replace Pat Elflein and free him of the burden of just trying to be a starter on this line would be an automatic upgrade for the start. So even though, like we said, offensive line needs a big overhaul, just getting that one big starter at that weakest link spot at left guard, I think really transforms things. Into the reserves. So Oli Udoh, I believe in his talent, 6th-round pick last year out of Elan. He's going to step in and be the new Rashad Hill, be the swing backup at both tackle spots, as well as again, this is the dream, but also I'm a realist, and also respect Dakota Dozier. He performed well as a reserve and spot starter last year. He's a Rick Dennison guy, and I really value having him as a veteran swing interior offensive lineman as well. Plus, at the other OG spot, Drew Samia, 4th-round pick from Oklahoma last year. We did a video on him earlier in the week. I really believe in his talent, and I'm all in. Now, that OT spot, I want day 1 or 2 rookie TBD. That means 1st round, 2nd round, or 3rd round guy that they're grooming to be the replacement for Riley Reef, and or put him in a right tackle and then shift Brian O'Neill over to the left tackle, which may have to happen just because of the scarcity and rarity of some of these left tackle prospects, and the fact that there are a lot more right tackle prospects in the spots where the Vikings could be drafting. So the Vikings could be out of range, or actually will be out of range, for Andrew Thomas from Georgia, Tristan Wirfs from Iowa, as well as Jedrick Wills from Alabama. Even though in our mock draft on Tuesday, we got him, which I don't think is going to happen. But someone, players that could be in range for the Vikings at 25 is USC's Austin Jackson, who we profiled early in the week as well. Now, he is a case where he could project to be an NFL left tackle, but also I would like to see him sit on the bench for a year redshirt and learn the NFL system and just really work on some mechanical stuff, as well as Houston Josh Jones. he would fit the mold as well, just in terms of a massive physical project that you'd have to do a lot of work on, and ideally just have him sit for a year behind Riley Reef and then take over next year as in 2021 as the starting left tackle. And then, of course, there's Louisville's mammoth, Mekhi Becton, who may or may not be there at 25. Road grader, really intriguing. He would have to play right tackle as well, and then Brian O'Neill would have to switch over to the left. But what I'm looking for, and why I listed it as, even though he's a high rookie draft pick, he's going to be sitting, because I want a dynamic like Andre Dillard and Jason Peters. Now, Riley Reef is definitely no Jason Peters, and if the Vikings still cut him loose and then started the day 1 and 2 rookie at left tackle, I would not be mad at that either. But I think what would be best for the kid's progression is to have him sit a year, sit like Andre Dillard. Remember, first-round pick from Washington State last year, a big-time guy. He was, besides the Alabama left tackle, I was fully in on Andre Dillard, and then the Alabama left tackle towards Labrum in Cincinnati. But I was fully in on Andre Dillard, but they sat him for a year, and I think that's a dynamic that could work well for the Vikings this coming up one. Where you look next year, so Riley Reef right now, the Vikings could free up, I believe it's $8 million and change in salary cap if they cut him loose, because they got $4.4 million dead this year. That drops down to $2.2 million dead next year, the final year of his 5-year deal. So that's a little bit more palatable. And if the Vikings are at a spot where it's like, okay, we can shift some things around with the cap. We can afford to hang on to Riley Reef. We can afford to bring in Joe Thuney and or free agent left guard du jour, and we're going to spend some high draft capital on the future left tackle of this team. I'm happy. I'm absolutely happy. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you just got to keep drafting. Fully in and understand that. But also, you have 2 gems from last year in Oli Udoh and Drew Samia that are functionally rookies coming in this year, even though they have a year of seasoning, just because they never got the time of day last season. So I think the Vikings, the pantry in terms of young talent is there. I would also like to see a rookie offensive lineman on the practice squad or 2, and then go from there. But I think right now, just in terms of realistic dreams, I think this isn't too far-fetched, and hopefully it's a path that the Vikings decide to go down this season. Anyways, your thoughts. My Vikings dream offensive line. Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. You want to support the work, pull us up on the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.